Hello, everyone. Today we have a story about an interesting couple. Please subscribe. There are many more love stories ahead. It was Friday afternoon in 2003. Dinara, a Javanese girl who worked for a government agency as an administrator, get her true love through a phone call from a mysterious man. That day was a lot of work. After finishing her lunch, Dinara immediately headed to her desk to resume her work. At her place of work, Dinara is known as a person who is friendly, hardworking, and sociable with anyone. Although she has a friendly nature, Dinara has not yet met her soulmate, even though her age is fairly mature enough for a woman. But it seems like she doesn't really think about it. According to her, the mate will surely meet someday. But aren't you already 32 years old? Ask a close friend in a private conversation in her workplace. Yes, I know. But right now I am still thinking about my career first, and still I have to finish my studies at a university, she said curtly. When the conversation between the two was taking place, suddenly Dinara's cell phones that had been lying on her desk was ringing very loudly. She and her friend were shocked by that loud noise. Dinara took the cell phone, then looked at the screen. There was a telephone call from a foreign number that was not in her phone book list. She responded to the phone call, and a male voice was heard at the end of the call. "Hello. Sarah, how are you? Long time no communication? Where have you been?" said the man was about to open a conversation. Dinara only paused to hear all the chatter from the man on the phone, then the man paused for a moment waiting for a response from his interlocutory, who he considered was Sarah. Dinara begins talking. "Sorry, I'm not Sarah. It looks like you called the wrong number." The man seemed shocked and embarrassed at having talked so much but to the wrong person. "Oops, I'm sorry," in a half-embarrassed tone. Then the man once again apologized as he hung up. Dinara and her friend laughed out loud as if they had just been comforted by a silly man. Tired of work felt lost for a moment. Dinara and her friend resumed their respective jobs. Weekends are the day that everyone is waiting for. Dinara is no exception. And finally, that weekend has arrived. But does she enjoy her weekends? While she doesn't have a partner to spend time together on weekends. No, Dinara is not lonely on weekends. She is a true cat lover, so weekends are fun days for her and her kitty cats. On Sunday morning, when the sun had just risen in the eastern horizon, when the birds had just emerged from the nest, chirping sweet greeted by the arrival of the morning, Dinara still clung to her bed and blanket with her sweet dreams. She planned to wake up later that day. Suddenly her cell phone rang loudly, typical of a classic cell phone that still had a monophonic sound. And she woke up in surprise while jumping from her bed, because usually her cell phone never rings on weekends. Yes, you know that she doesn't have a partner to share stories. She answers the phone with the tone of someone just waking up. "Hello, who is this?" said Dinara in a slightly irritated tone. "Hello, this is Anton. Are you Sarah?" "No, I'm Dinara," she answered. "Okay, sorry," the man said. "Hey, wait a minute." Dinara interrupts the man. "Weren't you the same person who called me 2 days ago?" "Yes, sorry I made a mistake again," said the man. "Why do you always press my number? When do you want to call a person named Sarah?" In a slightly nervous tone, that man started explaining something. "Actually, I wasn't looking for Sarah because I didn't have a friend named Sarah. I, indeed, called you because I wanted to know you," said the man. "Ooh, okay, you want to know me. So all of that was just a trick? Said Dinara. And the man said yes, agreed to the statement of the Dinara. Ah, damn you, said Dinara. You have ruined my beautiful morning, said Dinara, a little angry. What is your name? Dinara asked. My name is Anton, replied the man. Okay, Anton is glad to know you like a morning destroyer. Dinara wanted to immediately end the conversation and continue her sleep again. Then Anton apologized to Dinara while begging to be called again one day. We'll see, Dinara said. A few days later, Anton, the mysterious figure, called Dinara again, but without any tricks to find Sarah as before. This time he went straight to the point, asking how Dinara was. Even if it's just asking about the lunch menu or something about work. Anton, do it repeatedly, almost every day he calls. Dinara began to open up. They began to talk about many things on the phone. They talk about favorite foods, favorite movies, books that like to read, and many other things. In fact, they often continue the conversation after returning from work. Dinara began to feel comfortable with the figure of Anton, who is polite and humorous. It seems there is a sense of curiosity, a sense of longing, as well as worries. But all that happens only in a conversation via telephone, without seeing each other physically. Until finally they set the time to meet face to face to get to know each other better. After that meeting, at some point, they began to talk more seriously about feelings, about love, about age, about physical, religion, origin, family, and other things about each other's personalities. From all the talk, it turns out they are two different beings from all sides. In terms of age, Dinara was 10 years older than Anton. In terms of origin, they both came from different regions with different cultures. But the most fatal is that they have different religions. Dinara came from an Islamic family while Anton came from a Christian family. And Dinara is a woman wearing a hijab. These differences make Dinara worry that they are unlikely to unite. But Anton has fallen in love with Dinara. Anton just asks Dinara to be patient. Just live it, he said. Anton wants his relationship with Dinara to go on. Anton did not want that difference to be a barrier between them. Dinara, who was hesitant to continue the relationship with Anton, turned to be convinced that in the future everything would be solved. In 2008, a new challenge came over. Anton accepted a job offer at an American-based shipping company. In the work contract agreement, it is stated that Anton must be willing to complete each contract for 10 months, and after that, he will take 3 months off before being called back for a new work contract. This is indeed hard for Anton and Dinara. Long-distance relationships are not pleasant, but this is also an attractive job offer, a sizable salary, and the experience of going abroad, which is Anton's dream for a long time. Dinara reluctantly let Anton go to realize his dream. They promised not to disappoint each other. Day after day, month after month, Dinara returned to his day in solitude. Anton has worked for 6 years at the company. It is not a short time for a long-distance relationship, but they patiently live it. They were both incredible. They were able to overcome the challenge. At the end of 2014, after 11 years in a relationship that is more bypassed through a long-distance relationship, Anton and Dinara decided to get married. This is an exciting thing for both of them as well as a new challenge that must be faced. As told before, Anton and Dinara came from different religious and cultural families. So, can they bring these differences together? Anton had to come to Dinara's parents to propose and would explain everything about himself and his family. The meeting time has been arranging. On that day, late in the evening, Anton arrived alone at Dinara's house. He entered the house. Inside the living room, Dinara's parents and other family members were waiting, while Dinara herself sat in the corner of the room with a pale face and heart pounding. After chatting casually with the Dinara's family, Anton began the conversation with a firm and confident tone, share his desire to propose Dinara to her parents. Amazingly, Dinara's parents did not object to Anton's proposal and were able to understand all that difference. Even parents and their families participate in arranging events so that marriages full of differences can be put together in a lively event. After all stages of preparation are complete, the wedding party was held in February 2015. The party was very lively. All the family members are very happy, as well as all the invited guests feel very excited. This is a love story that starts with a fad, even though the relationship is limited by differences, but ends happily. Don't forget to subscribe. And please click like, it's important to me. Thank you.